first segment today, and this is the Relentless Food for Thought segment. And so every week what I do is I try to pick one thing that I can talk with my guests about. And this week it's called Building an Empire One Baby Step at a Time. And the reason why I chose that title was because both of the young men that I'm interviewing today, both Jordan Kavanagh, the owner of Movement and Mobility Specialist, and Scotty Yang, or Warren as the case may be. He is a video producer and the fashion mind behind the brand Heights Apparel. So both of them are young fathers. And if you've been watching my feed at all personally on Facebook, you'll know that my dad recently passed away. And I've recently had some really great conversations with my godfather. So the idea of building a brand and building a business when you're a young dad has been on my mind. So I think it's just coincidentally interesting that that's the case here with Scotty and Jordan today. So the 11 things that you need to be to build an empire. I wanted to give you some actionable items. So this episode this week is sponsored by Venvana. I'm going to go ahead and bring this on the screen. First of all, our first sponsor is Muscular Moving Men. Muscular Moving Men helped me to move from Cave Creek to Central Phoenix this past year, and they did an amazing job. So if you're looking for a mover, muscularmovingmen.com is definitely a really great option. They're locally owned, and the people that own the company are fantastic. And all their employees are just stellar. So Muscular Moving Men at muscularmovingmen.com is a really great option for moving. And then Venvana. Venvana.com is a organization that I'm a member of. I'm actively promoting and helping to kind of get the word out there about Venvana. What Venvana is a bartering community. So if you have a service or something that you can barter, so for example, for me, what I'm doing is I'm giving advertising and helping the Venvana members get the word out. And in return, I'm hoping that I'm going to get an admin to help me with some of my loading for my podcast this year, because I have about 150 episodes on YouTube and I need to get them over to podcast. And really for me, it's been a bandwidth thing more than a content thing. So I'm really looking forward to working with Venvana personally, but I also really believe in the concept of bartering. So if you love to barter, Venvana is a really great way to do it because they have a structure in place that allows you to track that stuff so you can actually claim it on your taxes and basically do it the right way. So Venvana.com is a really great place to go and check out. So I'm wearing my Be Inspired, which you can't really see right now. Be Inspired is the Venvana logo, and I'm super excited about working with them this year. So let me get to my 11 things that you need to be in order to build an empire. Okay. So the first thing you need to be is be inspired. I know it's crazy. I got the shirt on, right? But be inspired. Like if you don't, you have to love what you do. I mean, if you're going to start a business, you can't kind of start doing something you marginally love. I started a business in 2006 with somebody who marginally loved being a hairdresser. And, you know, in order to put in the hours that you need to put in order to have a new business, you have to love being a hairdresser. You have to eat, drink, and sleep it, you know. And I think initially we thought that person did, but then over time they realized it wasn't really their passion. So I made a decision to move away from the business and sold it to my friend Mary Motto. It's called the Red Clover Salon, by the way. And she is in love with being a hairdresser, and that's why it's been able to stay open all these years. So the Red Clover Salon has been open now for about 15 years, which is really awesome. So you need to love what you do. And so whatever you're going to start, if you have a passion project, it needs to be a passion project, and it needs to inspire you in order to put the long hours in to be able to start a video production company, start a fashion line, or start a physical therapy, a mobile physical therapy practice. You really need to be able to love what you do. The other thing you need to be is be consistent. So one of the things that I've done with Relentless Talk Radio over the past year is, like it or not, prepared or not, at Tuesday at 2:30, I'm here talking with you guys. I'm consistent, right? So you'll see me posting the day before who's going to be on the show. You'll see me posting in the morning who's going to be on the show. You'll see me doing a Facebook Live just pre-show that will let you know who's going to be on the show. And I'm going to move over this way so you can actually see my shirt, because it's super important that you see this little Be Inspired shirt, okay? And then you need to be open. So this morning, I actually recorded segment 3 of the show. And one of the things that Scotty Warren and I talked about was that, you know, you really need to be open to learn new things, when you're opening up a business. You can't be closed-minded about it. You never know what the solution is going to look like. And so keeping an open mind is super important. And being open to things. My girlfriend Alyssa posted something this morning. She's a mortgage person, but she also has a book called Color My Credit, and she's a new TikTok personality. She's just literally taken over TikTok. And one of the things that she said this morning in her morning TikTok was, stop complaining. You don't know what the comeback's going to look like. And it made me laugh, because you just never know what's going to come next, and what lessons you're going to learn in this weird downturn and during this COVID thing that you can take forward into the next season of your life. So be open to the solution, not looking like you thought it was. And the next thing is number 4 is be flexible. Wow, are we learning that today, right? Be flexible. Work from home, work from your car, be flexible, and try to roll with the punches on a daily basis. When you're starting a new business, you just never know what's going to happen. Something doesn't show up as it's expected, and you've got to just kind of pivot and be flexible and kind of go on to the next thing. Number 5 is be humble. I know us entrepreneurial types hate that. We hate the humility thing. But you just never know when someone actually might be better at something that you do. We were just talking about bookkeeping, Scotty and I. I actually am a good bookkeeper. I can do it. I'm good with numbers, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And because it's not my favorite thing to do, I can get behind on my bookkeeping. So this year, I'm really looking forward to hiring a bookkeeper. In fact, I might barter one with the Venvana community, so that I can just take that off my plate, because I humbly admit that bookkeeping is not my favorite thing to do. It's not my thing, right? There's other things that I'm not really good at, that I need to work with other people on. Be humble enough to know what you need help with, but also humility is kind of a word often misunderstood. It's not just like a forced feeding on humble pie where you get to take an inventory of yourself and know what you're bad at. It's also a way to recognize what you're good at, and then make a decision that you're going to invest time in working on the things that you're good at, as opposed to things that you're not good at. So, one of the things that I'm good at is connecting. And so Relentless Talk Radio was born, right? I'm good at connecting. I'm good at talking with people. Varying levels of success with talking with people, but for the most part, I'm really good at connecting and networking. Number 6 is be bold. Okay, so once you take that inventory and you figure out what you're not so good at, and you've kind of eaten some humble pie, and then you make that list of stuff that you're really good at, then you got to get your neck out there and be bold. You can't, when I was a gymnast, my coach used to say to me, Michelle, you can't throw a back handspring on the beam half-assed. You've got to throw it. And I think that gymnastics was a really good playing ground for me to learn about. You just can't kind of almost get into business. To get back to what I was saying earlier about the person who thought that he loved being a hairdresser, he kind of got his pinky toe wet. He didn't jump in. He didn't go all the way in. If you're starting a business, you got to be all in. You got to be bold, and you got to have confidence, and you've got to just go and do your thing and show up with all you got, and you got to be bold, right? You got to be relentless. The next thing is be authentic. This was last March, I was in San Diego, and I was there for the social media marketing conference. And one of the things that they really drilled home that I've really taken with me into this year is that the most important thing you can be is authentic. So, you may like me or not like me, but one thing for sure is I authentically show up as myself every day. And that includes admitting that my ability to impromptu speak has gone out the window as I've gotten older. My memory has gotten bad. It means showing my mistakes. It means, it means just showing up and being exactly who I am 100% of the time. People appreciate when you are yourself. They know when you're giving them a line of bullshit. And if you can authentically show up as yourself, it doesn't matter what your lighting looks like or what your video looks like, or if your content's a little askew. The people that are your people are going to be inspired by what you bring to the table authentically. And the people that are not your people will be either repelled, which of course you actually want. You want the people who are not your people to be repelled. I know that sounds awful, but when I interviewed the owner and founder of the Arizona Marketing Association, one of the things that he said was, you want to repel the people who are not your people, not your customer, because you don't want to waste any time on those people. So if anybody's turned off by your authenticity, be happy. They've not wasted your time and you haven't wasted theirs. So just show up as yourself all the time, and the rest of it's just kind of up to God or whatever you believe in. Number 8 is be original. Okay. You can only be yourself. It kind of goes with authenticity in a way, but authenticity is about showing up and being authentic. Being original is showing up with what is yours to do, originally yours to do. So I am a businesswoman who happens to be an artist, who's a philanthropist, who believes strongly in entrepreneurism. That's what I am. If you were to listen to me 5 years ago or 10 years ago, that's what you would hear. I might not have had a clear of a vision because I didn't really get how my 4 pillars fit together yet. I had to go through a period of time and listen to people tell me that I had to separate, only focus on being a personal trainer and a wellness expert, or only focus on being a philanthropist, or only focus on being an entrepreneur that had a business consulting company, and never mixing the two, never talking about all 4 of those things at once. But what's original about me is those 4 things combined, and what I bring to the table is originally me. I am the product. I am originally myself, and I show up authentically. So number 9 is be patient. I know. We hate this one. We want it yesterday. We want it yesterday. We want all the epiphanies and all the lessons to happen yesterday. And guess what, peeps? That is just not the way it goes. You have got to show up every day and put in the sweat equity and be patient and let the lessons unfold and let your people find you, and be patient with the painful lessons that you have to learn across the way. Make the appropriate adjustment when it makes sense to make those adjustments, and just be patient. It cannot happen overnight. I mean, even the overnight wonders were doing tons of work in the background before they were accidentally discovered, right? It doesn't, even the overnight wonders, if you really look at what they did to get to the point, like Louis Pasteur, the guy who created pasteurization, when they pasteurize milk, he said that luck prefers the prepared mind. And that's one of my favorite quotes. You've got to put the legwork in your life and develop yourself. And people always say, Michelle, I really want to meet the right guy and the right girl. And my answer to that always is, and believe it or not, I read this in Cosmo like 20 years ago. Not usually the place you get kind of meaningful content, but it was an article that I can't remember, and I was in my teens, and what the article said was, focus on being the right woman and the right man will show up. And I think it's that way with business too. You got to focus on being the right business person, and focus on being the right you, and the right opportunities are going to come to you, but you have to be patient. And then number 10 is be clear. Okay. Be clear about what success really looks like. Okay. So I think sometimes we think the only thing that makes you successful is money. If your bank account looks a certain way, then you're successful. Well, true. I mean, let's be honest. Money is not everything, but it's right up there with air, right? However, there's other ways to be successful. And they're usually more important, because money really isn't the point. It's what you do with the money that's the point. There's other ways to be successful, and to not just every day when you're growing a business, have your level of success be determined by how much money you have in your account. Because in the beginning, guess what? If that's what you're determining your success is, in the beginning, you work a lot for free. I hate to tell you, you spend a lot of money, you lose a lot of money. I've lost a shit ton of money. I mean, can we talk? Okay. I've lost a lot of money. I've had some things not go my way. Okay. I've also made a lot of money. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I've learned with the times I've made money and the times where I've lost money and the times where I've been sideways or just, just barely making it, is that if I didn't have my success be about, for me, my dad used to say to me, Michelle, every morning I get up and look at myself in the mirror and I can look myself square in the eye. If I've got that, then I'm good. Everything after that is gravy. If I show up with 100% and I keep consistent and I do the things that I'm telling you, then I'm successful. The money, I know if I'm patient, like I was just talking about, is going to follow every single time. I just know that. I don't even question it. I just know it. So the last one, number 11, is be flippin' relentless. I know it's Relentless Talk Radio. Of course I'm going to say that, but holy crap, you've got to show up for this thing. Like, you've got to be relentless about it. Like, you got to like the Energizer Bunny. Like, when they knock you down, you got to pop right back up. You remember those little games that you hit it down and it would pop back up, and the Bobo dolls with the round bottoms? You got to grow a Teflon shield, and you just got to keep going on. Just keep on keeping on. You got to be relentless if you're going to be successful. And when you fall on your ass and you fall on your ass hard, you get your ass right back up. Have yourself a good cry, call your friends and complain about it, and then get on with it. So those are my 11 things. Be inspired, be consistent, be open, be flexible, be humble, be bold, be authentic, be original, be patient, and be flippin' relentless. So with that, I'm going to sign out of here, and I'm going to go over and get Jordan, and we're going to talk about his business, the Movement and Mobility Specialist, and we're going to talk about some things that we're doing forward in his business and my business collided with some physical therapy videos we're going to put together, because as you know, my hamstring and my right Achilles has been really irritated for months. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm signing out of here, and I'm going to go sign on and say hello to Jordan. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay.